When this is all over, how will you have grown or improved? Right,
It's
Jason?
a deep one.
It's a good one. Our mentor asked this question of us just a few days ago, and I thought, wow, that's a doozy. In fact, I pulled out my journal and was like, let me think about this, right? Now, I thought, you know what, we should talk to you about it, right? Because it's such an important topic. Now, my name is Cece.
And I'm Jason.
And we're a husband and wife team that is dedicated to helping you reclaim your physical and financial health. And this, I think, speaks to health in general, right? Whether that's your physical health or your financial health, but making sure that you are continuing to grow and nourish yourself. I mean, that's so important. You know, they say you're either dying or you're growing. It's one or the other. There is like no maintenance. You have to be doing something in one of those directions, right? So with that in mind, Jason, I would love to hear where you'd like to see yourself when this is all over. What sort of improvements, what sort of growth would you like to see?
Okay. So first it was interesting when he brought this up because it was right when things started to kick off here a little bit, get a little bit more sketchy, and it messed up our whole routine. And so I went from getting up 3 o'clock every morning. I know exactly what to do each time, each hour, and to where I'm like, what am I gonna get up for? I can't even leave the house.
Yeah.
And so if I was getting into a little bit of a funk. I was still exercising, but I wasn't doing it as intensely. I knew I wasn't giving my all.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one of the things that I want to do is continue with my health goal. Get as small as I can get in as best shape as I can get, but also do even more things that I never thought I could do again.
Okay, so I love that. Okay, so Jason has been on a health journey for quite a while. His journey is incredible. You were incredibly morbidly obese, and you had quite a bit of health issues, and you have really spent the last few years really sort of to dig in and learn and grow. So I love that you're like, hey, I still got a place to go. There's still another level that I want to achieve. And that last piece you said about this concept of trying to do things that you didn't really think you could do. I think that's really powerful. What are some examples of things that you've done recently that you didn't think you'd ever be able to do again?
Well, first, jump roping. The surgeon who put the screws in my back, he's literally told me, if you ever jump again, you will be paralyzed. So the first day we was out there trying to jump rope, Cece was just killing it. I couldn't get my feet off the ground. I was so in my head.
Yeah.
And it literally, I just had to take a leap of faith. And I was like, I know I've been doing great. I know I can do this. And I was able to do it.
What I love about that, right, is you recognize that you were in your head, right? Because one of my other coaches actually recently, she was doing some mindset training, which is, always so good. And she was saying the limitations are up here, right? You have this idea, you have this story that you believe, sometimes for good reason, sometimes it's something you've made up. And that's what it is that holds you back.
Yes.
Right? And that was your experience. Someone had told you something a decade ago.
Yes.
Or almost a decade ago now, yeah. And you were holding on to that belief for so long that it was keeping you from being able to grow.
Yeah.
And once you were able to let go of that, I mean, you're killing it now. If you follow Jason on any other platform, I know some of you, some people do. He is on Instagram, he's on Facebook, and he shows like himself jumping, and he's got like a 1.5 pound jump rope, and it's something that you really didn't think that you were capable of, and now you are just grinding and doing a really good job of it.
Yes. I appreciate that. I
really
do.
You're welcome.
And it's hard work, and I'm gonna be honest, like, it feels good to get CC saying all these great things about it, but I sucked in the beginning. I sucked. And I had to just keep going out there and keep doing it. Like, we have this running joke, like, oh, we're an Opus Day.
Yeah.
When we first started, we were just flogging ourselves all the time.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. A jump rope hitting you when you mess up is a really good indication and reminder that you are not doing that great in that moment.
And so, as you see, I'm more focused on the health side. What most of you don't know, Cece is actually the business.
Oh.
Cece is the mastermind behind the marketing, the business, and she's that. And so she's been having some really great growth. So tell us
Aw.
about that.
Thank you, thank you. So before I hop into that, Jason, that last little piece that you were saying about, sucking it first, right? Hello. So I honestly just finished up a marketing challenge very recently that I thought, I'm going to give my all in this thing. I want to pour myself into it. I want to take in as much growth. I've done this challenge now 5 times. And I've learned a lot of the lessons, or I'd heard a lot of the lessons, but I didn't want to stop, right? Because when I first started marketing, I sucked, right? Like, I was not great. I didn't like it. I certainly didn't like doing things like this, like actually talking straight to camera and doing all these things. And I sucked. And I entered contest after contest after contest. And it's funny because when I was going through this process, I realized I had lost 12 contests, right? Like I was entering, but I had lost 12 times. And this time, while we were in the middle of a global crisis, I was still willing to work on myself and still willing to really pour into you and into the materials. And I placed 3 times.
Yes.
Like when I was doing my journaling yesterday, I was like, you know what? While we have been in this process, I have already seen growth and transformation that I didn't even expect.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is really, really amazing. And it's funny that you say that, because one of the things I'm hearing a lot of right now on social media is, I'm bored. There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
What can I do? What's a movie to watch? And are you hearing that also?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. And no shade to people who are out there and you're feeling like, okay, let me dig into some things. We watch Tiger King,
Yes.
right? We're not crazy. We still get into some of those things, but I am hearing a lot of people saying, I'm bored. What am I supposed to be doing with all this time? We're not bored. We've got a lot going on. We are super busy. What I would say is ask yourself the question, when this is all over, how will I have grown or improved, right? And ask yourself that question and then think about it. Like, what could I do to learn or improve, right? Because you're dying or you're growing.
Yeah.
So what could you do, right? Maybe it's a skill that you want to improve, like I did with the marketing. Maybe it's a part of your lifestyle that you want to improve, like Jason is doing with his health. Maybe it is something that you've always wanted to try, right? I know some people who are trying instruments for the first time.
You can learn a new language.
You can learn a language. You can download Duolingo, for example, and start learning new language skills. But there's so many ways to learn and grow, right? One of the things that I do every single day is I just plug into some personal development, right? I hopped on a call with my coach just yesterday. Was it yesterday's call?
Yeah.
Just yesterday, and I said, you know what? This is an area that I'm struggling with a little bit. What books do you recommend that can help me get over that hump, right? And so that's where I'm pouring. That's where I'm going next, right? I'm pouring into that particular topic so that I can unlock what I need to unlock and continue to grow. And that's what you got to ask yourself. What else could I be doing? How else could I be improving my skills? How else could I be improving myself? What could I do differently? And I think that's what we can do. Rather than being bored, we don't have to be bored. We can choose to do some things with that time.
That's really, really great. Really great. And so we understand right now is not the best of times, but there's still so much positivity out here. There's so much opportunity out here. And if you do know where you want to go and where you want to be after this, shoot us a message. We'd love to share with you what we do. Even if you're just not sure yet, at least you can have more information. It will never hurt. Because in these times, we need as much information as possible, and we need to be helping each other as much as possible. And so we love you, and we hope you and your family are doing well. Ciao.
Ciao.